Hope you are all doing well. I am just going to kind of wait for everybody to get in here. If you guys can just let me know if you are here and if you can hear me, that'd be great. We are setting up today my December book journaling setup, as well as talking about the December book club kit or book club book, which is going to be Make the Season Bright. And I just finished it today, so we'll see what you guys think of it. I'm very curious to know. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you're having a great holiday season. So let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start setting up my December, and then I thought what would be fun is I show you guys my 2026 setup, because I have my setup all ready to go. So I thought that would be really fun. Okay, let's see what I do. So I usually start with like a monthly reads and then a stats page. So I'm going to do that. So let's start in here. Hope you guys are all doing well. I was just looking at my Goodreads. Let me just count how many books I've read this month. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. I do hope to finish 2 more, and the reason I'm hoping to finish 2 more in like 2 days is because I only have like 80 pages left in a book that I'm physically reading, and then I have 2 hours left on an audiobook, so I feel like I should be able to get those done. So we're going to start off with my December reads section, and I usually just take some of the washi. I'm using the December book journaling stickers from my shop, and then these are monthly read scripts from the shop as well. So I'm going to put that on top here, and then I usually just take our big book covers. And you know what, now that I'm talking, I realized I forgot to print my book covers today, which really sucks. Oh well, we will go with it. So I'm going to leave 6 books here because I feel like I'm going to get those done. So I'm going to put 6 books down, and then I can always take them up if I don't end up reading them. So hope you're all having a good day. If you are watching, I'd love to know how you guys are doing, how your Christmas or holiday break has been. The book that we read is a holiday book, so I'm curious to know if that like enhanced the book or did a disservice to the book. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So yeah, just let me know if you guys are here and how you're doing. I did kind of do this very last minute, so I am worried that we might be pretty quiet today, which is fine. I originally was going to have it tomorrow, but my husband works a job where he goes on call, and he has to go on call on the 1st in the morning. And so we are going to go do our New Year's celebration in the city, and we are going to go earlier so that we're back in time for that. Okay, so let's just put a little bit of deco. I end up printing 2 sheets of deco for myself because I always find that I run out because I love the deco. So I got 2 sheets of the December book journaling deco. I also have the December reading favorites, and I have the December stats. Oh, hi, Sharon. Hi, I'm so glad you figured it out. Welcome here. We have our washi strips and our book journaling kit, and then I did the 2 pages of the book review because I read 4 books so far this month, but I think I'm going to end up reading 6, so I'm going to say that I'm reading 6. And I didn't bring my 5-star ratings. Man. Okay, let's see if I can pull some of these. Here we go. So I like to set up this page where it is my monthly reads. I put one of our big book covers, and then I usually color the books to match. And then I usually print the book covers of the books that I've read, but I honestly forgot today. I actually finished our book club book like 2 hours before this, so I quickly made dinner, ate dinner, and then I am here. So I was a little bit frazzled, but I think I ended up doing okay. So I just have the book covers not printed. And then I don't have these star ratings, which is kind of sad. I even have them in my office. I'll get them later. No big deal. Okay, so let's set up my stats page, and then we'll come back and color these once we're talking about the book. And I need like something to not think about. What else did I do? Okay, so I kind of did a little bit of deco. We're gonna start with this. And then I'm going to end up using this December one. So welcome here, everybody. I'm curious to know if anybody read the book club book for this month. The book club book is Make the Season Bright for December. And I'm curious to know if anybody read it and what you guys thought of it. What was your star rating? I personally didn't like this book. I gave it a 2 stars. And the only reason I gave it a 2 stars is because I felt like it was extremely predictable, which I think is a very common thing in romance books. I felt like they didn't really learn anything. I felt like it wasn't really earned or anything like that. I personally don't think that they were great together, and I think they should have just stayed apart, but we can kind of get into that as we go on. So I actually made a little outline so I wasn't so frazzled this time with talking about the book. So hopefully we can stick to that. So I'm curious to know what you guys have been thinking of the book and what kind of star rating you got if you read it, or if you didn't read it and maybe why you didn't read it. Like if it's not your genre, so you didn't even attempt it, which is totally fair and totally fine. We're not going to get books that everybody loves. I try really hard to do a bunch of different genres, but we can't always get everybody's favorites. Added to TBR and favorite book. Added to TBR and favorite book. I have been thinking a lot about the books for, so currently we have books ready for January, February, March, and I'm thinking about April, May, June right now. And I personally love fantasy books, so I'm curious to know if you guys would be okay with me putting in a fantasy book in the book club lineup. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's also not everybody's genre, so I'm just curious to know what you guys think of that. Okay, and then I do books read, physical books, audiobooks, pages read, time listened. Okay. Okay, sorry, I'm reading what Sharon says about the book. She gave it 3 stars, not her favorite. She found it a bit boring, and when it came to the couple, they were so distant. Okay, this is literally my thoughts exactly. I feel like we were told so much why they didn't work. I just feel like I don't understand why we would root for them to be together. Like, I almost feel like the book was continuously telling us that they shouldn't be together and that they would be better apart. So I don't really understand why we were trying to root for them. I did find it extremely boring. Like, I struggled to get through this book, to get to even like want to pick it up. I only got this book available to me on audiobook on Christmas Day, and so I didn't really have a lot of opportunities to read it before today. So I just kind of cranked it all out in one day, but there was many times where I'm like, I don't really want to read this book. Okay, 5-star reads, longest reads. So was it really my favorite? I think that I read it today which is the 29th. I feel like it being a Christmas book was a slight disservice to the fact that I read it so late, because I'm kind of over Christmas now at this point. Like, I feel like if I would have read it more leading up, I would have loved the Christmas element of the book. But I feel like now that Christmas is over, I'm like, I'm done with Christmas. I am ready to move on. I'm kind of already thinking about New Year's, and I feel like it kind of did a disservice of it being a Christmas book. I feel like it didn't even need to be a Christmas book. I thought they were going to play on her name and the book title a lot more, which they didn't do. I thought they would kind of, you know, talk about that a little bit more, which didn't really become a thing. One of my biggest things that I found about this book was the fact that it was kind of confusing, and it could have been just because I listened to it in audio, but there was so many characters that were introduced right off the start. So I found that very confusing. And a few of the people had nicknames. So not only were you learning all of these characters, but you're also trying to figure out their first name, their real name, and their nickname. Let's see, average rating, series complete, DNF books. So I found that confusing, and I'm curious to know if others felt the same, because that it could have just been an audiobook thing, or it could have just been a me thing. Another thing that I found was because I was listening to audio, when you normally read a book with dual points of view, usually at the top of the chapters it will say like who the chapter is about, and because I was listening to audio, it didn't say that ever, so I was having to constantly try and figure out who it was. And in the very beginning, when you're getting two different storylines, and it didn't tell me that they were switching a new person, so I got confused. I was like, is this like a later event that happened? I didn't really catch on that it was two totally different people's stories until much later. So that is definitely an audiobook issue. So I was a little bit confused. So if you were in the same boat, let me know, because that was a struggle for me. Okay, so I got my stats page set up here. I'm just going to kind of decorate it a little bit more to make it cute. Yeah. Otherwise, I felt like the premise of the story was very like normal to what like every other romance is, so it was like nothing special or new. I think that's what kind of was boring about it. It wasn't a new concept. Like, it was very same thing for like, it was just very not original is what I want to say. Okay, so I think my stats page is done. Okay, so let's chat more specifically about the book. So the story of the book, if you did not read it, is about two girls. One is name is Brighton and one is name is Charlotte. They were friends as children, and they grew up together, and they ended up dating. They ended up getting engaged, and Brighton left Charlotte at the altar because they had moved to New York to pursue music, and because they were both musically inclined. Like Brighton is more like a singer and plays guitar, where Charlotte is more like classical music. I forget what instrument she plays. And so she gets jobs in New York, so they move to New York, and Charlotte does not, or Brighton does not like New York, where it's more Charlotte's dream. And so Brighton just feels like she doesn't want to stay in New York. She's feeling a little bit smothered, a little bit feeling like her feelings are not taken into account. And so she ends up leaving at the altar. Fast forward 5 years, and now these two girls are brought to the same house for to spend Christmas with their friends, and they're kind of forced together to go to this event. I forget what it's called. Oh shoot, it'll come back to me. But they're going to this Christmas event, which is basically like a matchmaking event that their mom has put them up to. And there's a whole bunch of people in the house that are like all friends from the quartet and another Brighton's friend from Nashville, and they end up getting reunited. They kind of like are upset with each other because they both feel like the other person was at fault for it, and they're both kind of beating themselves up at the same time for what happened, and they end up getting snowed into a cabin together and being forced to confront all of their issues, and in the end they end up getting back together, and it's a typical love story. So that is the story of Make the Season Bright. I'm just going to try and catch up on comments here 1 second. Okay, so do you feel like that Charlotte thinks she's better than everybody, or that she is better than everybody? I agree. I felt like the characters were a little bit confusing. There was so many characters. There was all the people in the quartet, and then there was like other people's love interests kept getting thrown in and stuff like that. And it was just like, there is just so much happening. And the other people's love connections, like Charlotte ended up meeting a guy at this like at the love intermingling session, like almost like speed dating type of thing, and she ends up meeting this guy, and he is madly in love with one of the girls that is in the house, like in the quartet. And he decides that he is going to help her out, and she's going to help him out, and they're going to pretend to be like each other and stuff like that. It never really turns into much because it just doesn't, and I just felt like it wasn't needed. Like there was no reason for this whole fake dating thing to even be a thing. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, you feel like the author portrayed her as better than everybody else. I feel like I kind of agree with that because the Brighton is struggling. So she was in a band that kicked her out, and they ended up making it once they kicked her out because they got a new singer, and they ended up stealing a song of hers that her and Charlotte wrote together for their anniversary, or when they got engaged, that they played on their wedding. And they stole that song, and she was very upset about it and that kind of thing. And so I feel like she's always down on her luck. She's kind of got the short end of the stick. Yet Charlotte's constantly complaining about how she hates December and Christmas is the worst, and that never really becomes like a thing. Like she's constantly talking about how she's jinxed in December and jinxed at Christmas, but it's like, okay, the one thing that happened to you, it's like, get over it. The Christmas. Sorry, I'm just writing the books that I read for the month of December. So I read Shadow Princess, which is the 4th book in the Zodiac Academy series. I really wanted to read a lot of Christmas books this year, so I ended up reading 3. I read The Christmas Bookshop, which has a very small love story in it, but it's just a very cozy, like anytime, or not anytime, but like just a seasonal read. It was very, very, very cute. It's about her like fixing up a bookshop and like bringing it back to life. I read The Christmas Tree Farm. I read the first book in this series, but I didn't read the second one, but I just really want to read the Christmas one. So I hope I didn't like spoil anything for myself for that one. And then I did read Make the Season Bright, which I'm going to use the book club kit for that instead of this one. But like I said in the beginning, I am hoping to finish 2 more books this year. So one is actually Mate, which I still haven't finished. And then one is The Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So I'm going to put that one in here. Okay. Okay, what a good perspective. Okay, so this, it was your first rom-com that you have read in a while, so it's nice, fun, easy read. And you know what? That's one of the reasons why I did pick that book for December, is because people are always so busy and, you know, we're doing all the things, that a nice, easy book is sometimes really, really, really nice to have. So I really appreciate that. I think that's 100% true, that it was very easy to read. And just like, you didn't have to think too hard in this book. That's 100% for sure. Okay. So that's what the book was about. The book talked a lot about forgiveness and second chances. And I think that's one of the main things that they talked about. But another thing was about communication and like misunderstanding and avoidance, which I think I struggle with books that constantly, I just want to scream, like, just talk to each other. Because, like, a lot of it could have been avoided if she would have made it very, very clear to, like, if Charlotte would have made it very, very clear. No, other way around. Brighton would have made it extremely clear to Charlotte that she not only doesn't like New York, but, like, it's affecting her greatly. And I think if she would have chatted with her right at the beginning, if she maybe would have ran away from the altar and just like talked to her about it and been like, maybe we do something different. I get that they were both scared of ruining the other person's dream along with their own. But I just feel like the communication could have gone a long way. I think it could have gone a long way the whole time that they were in the house. Like, they could have immediately sat together and been like, okay, we're in this house together. Let's talk about what happened. Let's get it all out in the open. The fact that Charlotte, yeah, wanted to continuously keep it a secret from the band was very strange to me, and I couldn't figure out why. I don't know what that one was about. So yeah. Oh, this is your first book club night. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So next year in 2026 is going to be a little bit different. It's because we did our Advent book club. I technically have 2 books for every month. So how we're going to work it is January's and February and March's, because we have those out. I didn't want people that didn't get the Advent to miss out on book club. So our regular book club is going to be the January one, which is the Thursday Murder Club. Then as an optional second book, we have the Midnight Library, which is the first book in our book club advent calendar. So that's how we're going to work it. If you feel like you can only read one, pick one. If you really want to read the main one we're reading, it is the Thursday Night Murder Club. But if you say, like, I would love to read 2, read both. If you decide you like one over the other, read one. Like, it's not going to be a serious thing. Like, it's just supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be playing with stickers and enjoying books and chatting about books together. So don't be worried about like doing something wrong or reading the wrong book. Like, it's honestly just for fun. The lack of communication is an easy way for writers to create issues. 100%. Like, I feel like that's kind of frustrating because I feel like it's so overused. Like, we could just fix this with just communicating. Like, yeah, a little silly to me. All right, so I'm going to add some washi strips in here. Let's see. So music is also another really big part in this book. They are both musicians, and music represents very different things to both of them, I think. I think to Brighton, it was more about like her connection with music because she sings a lot more, where I feel like Charlotte loves the whole like found family of her music group because her mom wasn't really involved in her life. I feel like having her quartet was like super important to her because it felt like she had a family. It felt like she, you know, accomplished something on her own. So I feel like that was a big part of it for her, where I feel like Brighton was more about expression and more about the lyrics. So that was my take on that. Hey, no problem. Welcome here. So happy you are here. It doesn't matter if you didn't read the book. I'm just so happy that you're journaling with us together. If you guys are, let me know, because I love seeing your guys's. I love when people post on my Facebook group afterwards and show me like what they were working on while we were chatting. Like, I love that. It's like my favorite thing. Okay, I'm gonna put Make the Season Bright Now on here, but I think I'm gonna do it here because, no, I can do it here. I can do it here because I'm not gonna put Mate in here because I used the book club kit already. I'm gonna put The Secret Society of Irregular Witches here. And then I can put Make the Season Bright, and then I'll use this page for my end of the year wrap up. That's what I'm gonna do. We have a plan. I love the patterns in this kit. It's so fun. Okay. Charlotte was very closed off to people, especially Salome, as Salome tried to talk to her and was getting to know her. Yeah. So Charlotte very much was a person to herself. Even her best friends in her quartet were trying to like get to know her, but she kept being closed off, and it was like affecting her group and stuff like that. And when she found out that she was engaged before they even, like, that she was engaged and didn't even say anything about it, she was like super hurt and stuff like that, which I fully can see for sure. So I think like her just even communicating with her friends would have helped so much, because like I think her friends could have like helped guide her through it, but she felt like she needed to do it alone, and I don't think she needed to. How am I gonna do that? Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna put this here. I have my 2026 reading journal all set up, and I'm so excited to start it. Like, I am so excited. I have all the pages done. I did a little video on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. Also TikTok. I just started posting on TikTok. I'm hoping that I can, you know, reach more people on there and stuff like that. So I did that the other day too, and very excited. So I'll show you guys it also too while I'm here. Okay, let's put some of these up here. And maybe, yeah, we'll do this here. And this here. I liked all the really cutesy Christmas stuff though. I kind of wish that I was going to all those really fun events, like the lighting there was like a lighting ceremony one. There was like skiing and stuff like that. They did a horseback riding one. They did, what else did they all do? It was really cute. Maybe this in the corner. With this. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so in the beginning, I talked a little bit about it, but I was curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. So originally I had said, because I had read this book on the 29th, I was kind of done with Christmas. Do you think that reading it before Christmas or leading up to Christmas would change your thoughts on the book itself? Like you would be more entranced with the Christmas magical element of it? Because I feel like it was a didn't need situation. Like it just kind of made them the reason for them to get together, but otherwise it was like not necessarily needed in the book. But maybe that was just because I only read it after Christmas. Like maybe if I would have read it before, I would have liked that better. So I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. Let's do this quote in there too. And this here. Okay, so in the end, they jump like what is it, 11 months or something like that later, and they are engaged and they're going to get married again, and everything just seems like they ended up moving to Nashville, and Charlotte is just like okay with like her quartet just kind of slowly withering away and kind of leaning more towards Charlotte's or to Brighton's dreams. And I just feel like I didn't really buy it. Like, why did one person always have to sacrifice? Because I feel like they're just going to end up in the same situation where one person always had to sacrifice for them. Like, I feel like that's why I say I don't feel like they were meant to be together, because I feel like they just kept having to have one person sacrifice everything and the other person just being okay with that. So I'm curious. Okay. I like that. You read it before Christmas, but your feelings didn't change. Fair. I was just curious if that made a difference or not. Like if I would have read it before, if I would have liked it better. Seems like probably not. I didn't dislike it. I found it was okay. Like, and I feel like sometimes that is a big thing about holiday reads in general, is that they're just okay. But they're just supposed to be fluffy, like light books, and they're just meant to be books that you can kind of don't have to think about too much. You can just kind of shut your mind off to and enjoy, because it is the holiday season. And honestly, that's okay, and that is great too. I just feel like this is not done, but I don't know what else to add. Maybe I'll do this. I'm going to lift this up a little bit. Has anybody else started their 2026 planner yet? Their journal? I'm curious. We released all of our Advent stuff now, so if you didn't get the book club Advent calendar, you can get all those in the shop now too. And then what if we did there, I like that better. Okay. Cute. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to put in my ratings. This one I gave a 2-star. There we go. I had some people also ask for spread, like what books are every month, and I get that question quite a bit. So I am going to be doing a spreadsheet, and I'm going to put it in a Google Doc, and I'm going to put it on our website, but then also like pinned on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, so that you guys can see, like if you don't remember which book is for which month. And then I'm going to be very diligent on this year of not changing the book club nights, so that you guys are not thrown off last minute, because I feel like I did that a lot this year, and just because I had surgery and then with the holidays, and I just feel like that I don't want to do that next year. So I'm going to be making a spreadsheet with all of the books and stuff like that, so you guys always know, and then the dates as well. We're going to try and stick to the last Wednesday of every month. What is January's book? So January's book, the main book, is the Thursday Club Murder. And then if you did the book club kits, the book club advent calendar, and you got the book club kits there too, the first envelope is the Midnight Library, the Midnight Library. And those two books are going to be our January books. So again, if you only wanted to read one book, you could either pick one of the two. If you wanted to read both, you can read both. We'll chat about both. But basically, kind of, if you only want to read one, pick the Thursday Murder Club. If you really don't like that one, then pick the Midnight Library one. It's kind of up to you. Oh, fun. I love that you opened it all at once. I know so many people that open it all at once because they just like cannot wait. I love that. I think it's really fun too. I'm glad you liked it though. So you have your layouts planned, but you don't have it fully done. You keep changing. You know what? I do that too. And then I'm always worried that I'm going to like mess it up or like something's not going to look right. And I'm just learning to like kind of move on and to just accept mistakes and to think of it more as creative as opposed to mistakes. Okay, so I'm going to color in these books, which are my 6 books for the month. Again, I really hope that I get those other 2 books done. I should be able to. I'm a very slow reader. So I made myself a few goals for 2026 for my reading. And one is to read 55 books next year because I read 53 so far. And I do hope to read 2 more this year. So that'll be 55. And then so I really want to do 55. 50 was my goal this year. So I feel like adding 5 is doable. And I do want to continue working on series because I feel like I have a lot of open series right now. There are a few series that I would love to start. I loved the Pretty Little Liars series when I was younger, and I loved the show, and I just would like to reread those. I think they're just going to be fun, like light books as like palette cleansers when you read like big fantasy or like some more heavier books, that just to like have one of those books come after that would be really nice. So I think I'm going to try and read that series too this year. I also want to, there is this series, I don't know what the series name is, but the first book is like the Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder. And the reason I want to read those is because they have recipes in there. And I watched Hannah's, from like Hannah Plans. Like she has a reading YouTube channel as well. And she has been reading them and then making the recipes in the books. And I think that's personally super fun. And so I want to read them just to kind of try out different recipes. They're based on stuff happening in the book. So I think that's really, really fun. So I'm going to try that. So there are 2 series that I want to start. That one has like so many books too, like a ton of books in that series. I don't know anybody that's read them, but they're like mysteries, I think. And I think that they are also just very like light and very like casual. So again, a nice palette cleanser in between the other books that I read. So that's the 2 series that I really want to start. I want to continue reading One Piece. I want to continue, there's a whole bunch of series I want to continue. And a lot of them are like romance series where they're like interconnected. So it's not like they're really pressing. But I have read Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, but Onyx Storm, I was very lost and confused. And I think one of the main reasons is because it was such a long gap in between reading the other ones. I kind of forgot what we were doing, and there wasn't really like a update. And so because I was listening to it on audio, I kind of was confused of who all the characters were, because there's a lot of characters in that book too. So I think I would like to physically read those 3 books this year. I own Iron Fourth Wing now. I found it at the used bookstore in our town. So I have that one. So I'm going to try and physically read them. I'm a really slow reader, so that's why I usually go towards audiobooks. Especially when it comes to like bigger books, like fantasy books. But I feel like this one, I just need a map or something like that. And I feel like physically reading it will help me with that one a lot too. So, and I also have a goal of reading or listening every day. Even if it's just like 10-15 pages, just trying to work towards that goal. Do you guys have any reading goals for 2026? I think those are mostly, and then just like keeping up with my journal. Because right now in my 2025 journal, I have a lot of stickers laid down, but I'm not really good at writing the information in, so I would like to be better at that for 2026, so I don't have to go back and do all that. So that's another goal I have. So yeah. All right. So do you guys think the spreadsheet would be a helpful thing for you guys? Is there any information you would like added to it other than just the date of the book club? So we also have an app if you guys are ever interested. It is the book club. I'll have a link on that spreadsheet too, so that if anybody wants to sign up, they can. But basically the app will like notify you if the time changes, and also it will tell you what the next book is as well. So it's really, really handy, but I know not everybody wants another app or another thing to send notifications to, so that's fair. Yeah, spreadsheet would be great. Awesome. I can do that. Your goal is to read 5 chapters every night. You would like to read series books. Wow. You want to be more consistent with writing and thoughts about the books I read. Okay, so reading 5 chapters a night is like a super good goal. I really, really like that, especially because 5 chapters could be very different. Like sometimes books can have really long chapters. I'm a big fan of short chapters, like big fan of short chapters. I think all books should have short chapters. I started briefly reading the Thursday Murder Club, and there is so many chapters in that book, and I got so excited because they're all going to be really short. And then it feels so accomplishing when you're like, yeah, I read like 5 chapters. It feels so accomplishing. Where if I read a book with long chapters, it takes so long. And then I feel like even if I read the same number of pages, it's like, yeah, I only read 2 chapters. So 5 chapters is a great goal. I like that's such a like a easily calculable kind of goal. I like that. Not necessarily time, how much time you spend. And I agree. I need to be more consistent in writing about my thoughts and stuff like that. Yours is to use your library more. I love that. I use Libby all the time. Like that is like my main source for getting books. And sometimes it's a detriment to the fact that I have to wait. But I do actually pay for a non-resident library card for the Mississauga Library because they do allow you to do that. I do pay like a yearly fee. But then I get access to that library card as well because my small town library is not awesome, and you can only have books for 14 days as opposed to the 21 that you would get at the Mississauga Library. And my Kobo allows me to read my Libby apps, or Libby books on my Kobo. So that's really nice. Okay, can I tell you guys something that I got for Christmas? I kind of like made my reading experience like super bougie this year. And I asked for Christmas, and now my family's making fun of me. I got a stand for my Kobo, and it has a page turner. So all I have to do is sit back and it holds my book for me. And then I have a button, like a little remote that I can turn the page with. So I don't even have to hold my book anymore, you guys. I just can sit in my nice comfy chair and read my book. I think it's hilarious, but I'm very excited about it. Do you guys read on like e-readers too, or like more like just physical books? The January book, The Thursday Murder Club, is one of 6 books. Is it seriously? That's wild. I'm Googling, or I'm looking this up. I know it's a Netflix series now. Is it not a Netflix series? Oh my goodness, it is. There are 5 books. Nice. Perfect. Well, another series I can add to my series tracker. That's awesome. You want one of those? It's so cool. I have a little like fluffy chair in my hobby room, and now I can just have my stand set up, and then I have my blanket and I'm all cozy, and I put on like some background music, and it's like so nice. I find that I need like the whole vibe of reading to be an experience, so I think it's very fun. Again, I found it on YouTube because Hannah was using it and I loved it so much. Let's see here. I have finally branched out to more ebooks this year and started with audiobooks too. Yeah, that's so fun. I personally like ebooks because then I can read all the awesome books without having to fill my bookshelf. I'm not a big clutter or stuff person. And so it's really nice to be able to just have them on Libby, and I can like borrow the books and stuff like that. So that's really, really nice. Yeah, it's a Netflix series. Okay, so is it just starting out, or like is it just the first book, or when should I start reading / watching? I need to look that up. It's great. Okay, great cast. Good to know. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Okay, I'm gonna quickly show you guys my 2026 reading journal, but maybe I should just flip through this. Okay, let's show what we did. We got my December reads. I need to put in my star ratings here and then my book covers. I forgot to do that. We set up my reading stats for December. We set up my book review pages for the 3 books I've read so far, and then other than our book club book, and then one more that I'm going to include. I'm hoping to finish tomorrow. And then we have the Make the Season Bright book here, and then I will put my end of the year stats here. I just don't have the stickers with me at the moment. But let's look at my 2026 reading journal because I'm very, very excited about it. So this is a giant sticker that I made for myself. These 2 scripts here are from our reading journal scripts page. I just made this one, and I've been getting so many questions about this sticker. So if you guys are interested in me like bringing something out like this, let me know, because I totally could do a bunch of different options with this. Then we have my 2 pages of my book tracker, my bookshelves, and the different monthly book journal kit comes with icons that have books in them for the bookshelf, and I'm going to be doing that this year. So last year I did Let me just show you and compare. My theme is the same because I just loved it so much. I did genres, and I used our book genre key, and then I did the pre-colored ones. We also have blank ones, and then you can color them in yourself. But I did the colored ones. But I thought this next year it would be really fun to show which books I read each month. So I'm going to use the color coordinating ones. The deco is all from the Fantasy Fan weekly kit that we used to have. And then these are all tiny twinkles that are from our tiny icons sheets. So you'll see them throughout. There's tons and tons and tons of them. Then I also used the washi strips and journaling kit for the same Fantasy Fan throughout the whole thing as well. Then we have my rating scale and my spicy rating scale. I have time listened and pages read because it is my goal to either listen or read every single day. And so I would like to mark that. So I just have different hours. These are our year in pixels. Then I have my reading goal for the year, and it is 55 books for the year, for the entire year. And then this reading goals sticker is from my shop as well, and it is just all the reading goals that I have. Read 55 books, complete some series, listen every day, complete all my book club books, and stay on top of my journal. Then these are the 26 books I hope to read in 2026. I do not know if I'll get to them all. I did not put book club books on here. So these are just like extra books that I really hope to read throughout. And then this is my genre tracker. When I finish a book, I will overlay a sticker that has the different genre on there just to kind of see the different genres. Because I'm doing this, I feel like I didn't need to do it in my book tracker. So that's why I'm going to do the monthly ones here and then use the genre one here. Then I have my yearly bracket, which is going to help me determine which is my favorite book of the year. So basically my favorite book from January and February, those compete to make this book. We go on, and then those two compete to make this book, these ones to this one, and then the rest of the year to make one final winner. Then I have my reading mosaic, and then my reading mosaic key. When I finish a book, I will color in one square based on this key. So genre, pages, rating, and format. And then I have my book of the month, where I'm going to put in all of my favorite books from each month. The Prairie Book Club, I guess I can put in all of the book covers for this one, because this is going to be our regular ones that come out every quarter, and then these are going to be for the Advent ones. So I'm going to be reading both. Then I have two bingo cards. I have fantasy bingo and romance book bingo. My series tracker, these are the ones that I'm currently working on. One Piece, I just put 10 in there because I read 10 One Piece mangas last year, so I thought I'd put them in there. And then this is the I guess they're the Hannah Swinson mysteries. That's the chocolate chip cookie murder book that I was talking about. And then Pretty Little Liars as well. I really want to read that series. This is my reading passport to put in all of the fun places of books that I read about. And then, well, not like read about, but like say they talk about going to a place in a book, I would put it in here. And then I have my DNF graveyard for books that I don't finish. I did put in the trope challenge. So these are all romance tropes. I don't read a lot of romance books, but I just thought it would be fun to like see what I do read, you know, like I'm not hoping to finish this. I just kind of want to color in them in and see what I do read. These are my anticipated releases for the year. I kind of went through Goodreads and was seeing what was being released and what I was really excited to see. So I put those in there. And then these are 2 pages I didn't put on that video. I have my winter book bingo and then my winter TBR. So these are the books that I hope to read for January and February. And then I'll do March, April, May as spring, and then moving on forward. So I'll probably have 2 winter TBRs in here for December. I'll start one, and then it will carry on in my next reading journal here. So it'll start and then carry on. So I have the Thursday Murder Club, the Midnight Library, which are the 2 January books. These are our 2 February books, Sounds Like Love and Better Than the Movies. I really want to read the Chocolate Chip Cookie Murder. I want to read Night and the Moth and The Toll, which is the 3rd book in the Scythe series, and then Glorious Rivals, which is the 2nd book in the, I don't know what they call the series, but it's, you know how like there was the Hawthorne series? This is like the 2nd set in that installment. I forget what it's called. Grandest Games. So that's the 2nd book in that series. So that is my 2026 book journal so far. The thing that I'm going to be doing differently in this book journal as that I'm doing in my last one is in this one we did 2 books for every page, and this one I really want to focus more on more junk journal style, and I want to do a single page for every book. So I'm going to have the book review, and then I'm hoping to print out things and kind of collage it in like things that remind me about the book. So that's what I'm hoping to do more next year. So each page is going to be a single book, because then I can utilize more of the journal as opposed to just using half. So that's my goal. Very, very, very excited about it. And I hope that you guys enjoyed our book journal night tonight. If you'll have to let me know what you created and what you came up with for the night, like what you made. So if you put it on Facebook, I would love to see. So next month we are going to be on, let me just pull up my calendar here. We're going to be reading the Thursday Murder Club, and you're also welcome to read the Midnight Library. Our meeting is going to be on YouTube on the 28th of January. So you have a lot of time to read those books. We're trying to do the last Wednesday of the month. Wednesdays are like my best days because I don't have Taekwondo. So it's going to be the last Wednesday of the month. So the 28th of January. But again, I will make that spreadsheet, and I will also put it in the app if you guys are interested. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next month. Bye guys. See you.